Hey, what's up, guys? Coming back with another project today in in my little shop, Chop Shop Customs. Before I even get started, I kind of want to thank Jason, dude. I appreciate it. You rock. He's kind of what gave me the inspiration for today's video. And what I'm going to be talking about is the Harbor Freight parts washer. This is the 20-gallon parts washer. He overheard me talking to a buddy of mine, and he asked me would I like to have one. He said it's not in the best shape. Would I like to take it? I said sure. I like to repurpose, reuse anything I can get out there, and that's just kind of what the shop's all about. Be thankful for what you have and not what else that you want. So, in receiving this parts washer, I know they're running right now on sale at Harbor Freight for around $99, basically 100 with our tax rate, 106. So I got looking at it. I'm like, well, has a very much life potential left in it. So I want to go ahead and get started, kind of rebuilding it. As long as I put enough money in it that I don't equal that $100 threshold, I'm good. Why don't I set y'all on the tripod and let's get looking at what we're going to start doing today to refurbish this old unit. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is an old Harbor Freight parts washer. You're just going to have to excuse that cord in our shot. Really, it's a 20-gallon parts washer. I was told that somebody gave it to him, and I believe as he was driving, something flew out of the truck, which is understandable. Things like this, they're not strapped down well, tend to happen. So, you know, for me, I'm thankful that I was able to receive it. So at least now we have a parts washer. What I've noticed, what needs to be done to this thing, what we're going to get started on is we're just going to take a little bit of the dents and dings out of it. I'm not sure if you can see real good on camera, but there's a little bow right here. We'll just get the old rubber mallet, tap that out. We got a little lip right here, and the lip right here have been crushed down. So nothing major. As far as I know, that this tub is basically still square, which to me I can care less. As long as it functions, I'm going to be happy with it. We got a little issue with like the little rivets or whatever held this on. They've kind of come loose down here. So that's nothing more than a little bolt job. What else we got? I'm going to go ahead and replace the pump unit. I'm not sure if you can see that real well in here. The little pump unit, I plugged this up, it's not coming on. The pump is around 20 bucks at Harbor Freight to replace, so I really don't, don't care about spending that little bit of money. So we're going to replace that unit, and we're going to find something for a spout, and I think I have an idea. Little button over here is broken, so as long as this thing can be plugged in and pumped up to run the fluid through, I'm happy. So, I mean, really, that's nothing to me. That's just a little labor. I'll actually mess around with that pump a little bit more and figure out what's going on. The cheap legs that these are actually sent out with are very thin. I believe they're actually less than 1/16 as far as the thickness of the legs. We got two of the legs are really damaged, so what I've decided was instead of staying with these legs right here, what I'm thinking is, since they got a little rust and I do want to try to rebuild this unit out, what I'm going to do is I went ahead and purchased 2x2 aluminum angle iron. So what I'm going to basically do is be able to bolt up here and here. Pardon my phone, guys, I guess I'm getting messages. But instead of doing 2 bolts and 2, we're just going to do 1 and 1 right here on these corners. So that way we're able to anchor it. But the difference is I'm going for a lot thicker leg, rust free. So that's not going to be a bad idea right there. What else we also got is we got the little bottom shelf here, which I think is pretty awesome. So the shelf itself looks intact. So I believe I'm going to go ahead and actually try to reincorporate this back into the design. Like I said, the whole goal is to just basically rebuild the unit, make it usable again. Just simple little bit of working on it. So what I'm going to do, I guess, let's go ahead and get this unit away from the wall, flipped upside down, and go ahead and start disassembling this unit, and go ahead and start by removing the legs and starting right there. Alright guys, here's what I'm going to do. I bought an 8-foot stick of It's an 8-foot stick of aluminum angle, 2-inch. I really want a 3-inch to match exactly what I had on the parts washer, but since I couldn't really find it, I said like, alright, 2-inch should work because I'm going thicker metal. I'll have 2 little nuts and bolts on one on each side of the on the L or the A, however you want to say it. So that's so that I believe should work in theory. Between if you're gonna have 2 up here, and I believe the shelf also will have 2. That should stabilize everything out. So now the goal is go ahead and get this trimmed down into 4 2-foot pieces. So I guess let's go ahead and get started that, get everything cut, set up, and be done with, or go ahead and get ready to start the installation back on the cabinet itself. Alright, now that we got all 4 legs cut. So it's lightweight aluminum yet strong. This is 1/8 inch steel. So I guess the next thing is to figure out how to basically go ahead and get these things ready to be mounted. From what I see, what I'm gonna do is just really center it up and just take my take the good old Sharpie, and we're just gonna make a couple marks for the holes. Oop, missing that one. I don't know how, I'm like right here, but I guess just a funny angle. Basically that's what I'm going to do is just go ahead and mark the holes. It's just going to be the inside holes, which I think are definitely going to be more sufficient to hold the weight of this. It's not really much weight to it to begin with. So I guess go ahead and mark all these. I'll go ahead and mark them, get them set up, and I guess we're going to the drill press next to drill out some holes. We're at the next step. I'm gonna actually need 4 holes in this, but the problem is I got to get the first 2 done, mount it to the unit, then kind of see where it's going to go from there in order to be able to do the second set of holes, and that would be for the shelf. And before I see it in the comments, which I know somebody's going to say about it, why are you going to all this trouble and expense just to repair something broken and cheap as that parts washer? Keep in mind, guys, I'm not a big environmentalist, but at the same time too, if we can reuse something, repurpose it, why not put a couple dollars into it and go that route? It helps the environment, it helps us out pocket-wise. As long as I spend less on what it actually sells for, then I'm happy. Which I think I should be able to clear that goal pretty well easily. Alright, just setting up the table, make sure that I land into this wood that's attached to the deck. So I guess let's go ahead and start drilling out all these holes and getting them over with. I guess the next step is bolting these new legs onto this tub. Ended up, I was at Home Depot for like $2. I purchased 2 of these packs for like $2 a piece. It has a number 10-32 screw or nut and bolt. It's 1/2 inch, so I know it's a little longer than what I needed. But I figured since I'm upgrading stuff, going to a lighter leg that's a little thicker, so why not go ahead and upgrade the hardware too as well. I mean, it can't really hurt. But basically this is going to be simple, just nut and bolt the whole way around. Like I said, it's only going to be held by 2 versus what I originally was going to have, which would have been 4 per leg. But I think once that's nice and tight with that combination of the shelf, should make these new aluminum legs a lot stiffer, and this is still considerably loose. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, I'm going to just go ahead and get off the camera real quick. I'm going to go ahead and mount the other 4 loosely. Which will bring us back to the original what we have to do, and that's going to be to set the shelf, to mark it, and get it where all the legs are drilled, and we can start assembling everything nice and tight. Now that we got the entire thing, got the legs mounted, I'll show you all that in a little bit. what I need to do is go ahead and concentrate on relieving this, old shelf from its mangled legs. Got another parts bin, so I'm keeping all the nuts and bolts. I could use them in the future, but I guess it's time. A lot of these are loose. Well, since I do have new hardware, let me go ahead and remove all this. Get all the hardware completely gone. Get the shelf freed. I'll go ahead and put everything in the little bin so that way I can keep it for future projects. So I guess it's time. Let's go ahead and finish this disassembly and reassembly process. Alright, well, what we got now, if you notice, the shelf's kind of on here right now. It's just kind of clamped up. What I did was I came from the very bottom of the leg, measured 13¼ inches. And that's right about where that original shelf was at. So the one thing I did find is the way the bolts that are here, you got two actually go on each part of the shelf, one on the front, one on the side. What I kind of figured is the holes look kind of extremely close to the edge, so I'm trying to decide, do I want to just re-drill brand new holes, or do I just want to take the time to just kind of go ahead and just punch the hole, just try it out, maybe do one and see where it's going to end up going from there, and that's probably what I might do. Just kind of go in at an angle, as long as it's attached at every leg with 2 points. It should theoretically support the shelf, and it'll definitely stabilize this unit. So when we put 20 gallons of fluid in it, it's going to definitely stabilize it back out. And the goal is here not just to rebuild it, which could be bought for the $100, rebuild it so that way it's reusable, bring it back to life, and kind of strengthen it more than what the factory did. So I guess let me go ahead and get these holes drilled, and we'll go ahead and put the nuts and bolts and see what it does when we flip it back upright. Just took this apart, and what this is, it mounts to the back wall, and you have your little rod that keeps your lid open, propped open and everything. This obviously it incurred some damage. It's a little bent. It's got all 3 rivets still in place, but they've tore away from the cabinet. I think what I'm going to end up doing right now is going to do this off camera. I'm going to straighten all this out the best I can. Go ahead and get these 3 rivets drilled out. Get it ready for just some 3 simple nuts and bolts. And I think that's going to be so far. This is what I got going on. After the arm was basically removed from the get-go, straightened it up, which really didn't take long at all. So the little rivets come right out of it, like literally just fall out. And I was like, well, I was trying to find a nut and bolt, something that I could use to reattach it back to the cabinet. Couldn't find nothing. There was something I had in mind, but I must have already previously used it on a different project. So what I figured is I've got a rivet gun, so I might as well go ahead and rivet this in. Well, we got the parts washer. So far we're at this point where it's got new legs, the shelf on the bottom is clean, top needs to be cleaned before any kind of paint. I can open it up, lid stays up in place nice, got all that riveted out. Oh, actually no, I take it back. I gotta get this darn cord that's running up underneath this leg out, so stop moving back and forth. But actually I'm wrong, I got one more rivet to put on there. I keep forgetting this one. But I like the fact the lid can come down and it springs back up, so it stays open, so that way you can go ahead and use it. The next step, what we're going to do is figure out how to remove this whole box, which contains the wiring and it contains the pump itself. It goes back on all 4 legs, nice and straight legs. Probably still has a little twist to her, but what do you expect? you know, there was multiple things that I had to get fixed on it, but I think it's looking great right now. I went through and washed the whole outside of the cabinet. I scraped off all I could scrape. I'm not looking for dead perfection. What I'm just looking for is a nice usable cabinet, but just, you know, give it a little bit better touch up. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and use one of my favorites. Just we're going to rattle can this, just Rust-Oleum gloss. This is Gloss Cherry is the name of the red. Well, as you see, what I've managed to do was completely empty out the box. Here goes the pump. And what I did was I just held it kind of on its side with a rag because this unit's still dirty. What I did was just went ahead and sliced off the 2 tabs. So that way I still have this little holder. And the whole idea behind this, what I'm going to do, since this unit basically mounts all the way down in your tank, then you would take and connect this little, I don't know what you call it, little upright. So you got that, and the last item that comes in the box would be, I guess you would say, the most important item for a parts washer. It's going to be the spout. Now the cool thing is, long flexible spout, so it's pretty cool, and they got accessory like a brush thing that hooks here with a hose that you can brush your items, but I'm not going to need that. And we connect it like this. So the grand idea of mine, so I always have a pump that I can replace at any time, and I get everything brand new every time I replace it. For twice though what the Harbor Freight pump would run was going to be this idea. So the idea is I would mount it straight down. Now this is something, let me see, I think, let me figure out this thing. I didn't intend, I guess I have to maybe see about, yeah, it should, I figured it should fit. If I push it in real good in there, now the pump sits inside there, I can bend these tabs inwards so it will cradle the pump. What I'll also have by using it in conjunction with this little cabinet is I'm going to have the ability, since this pump doesn't have a built-in filter like the Harbor Freight one, I guess it would have one right there in the door. So that would be an idea right there. So I guess the next step, what I want to do is take this little hole in the very back. Let me move the pump so I can see what I'm talking about. Go ahead and enlarge that, and I only want to enlarge it for this. Since this is a whole complete unit, nothing to it. So all I have to do is plug it in. No switches to break in the future, nothing to worry about. It's literally plug and play. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, the next step would be, go ahead and enlarge in this hole so this can slip through it. And what I'm going to do is slip it through that back hole, and this piece would sit like this on the back. So it would come through the back of the unit and come out right here out of the front. So that way I'll still be able to plug it up and be able to have a way to mount this unit back on the tub itself. So that's going to be the next step. What I'm going to do is try to clean some of this gunk out of here, enlarge in this hole, and also what I'll do is go ahead and set this unit down, mark the height of where this is going to be, because what I'm going to do is also right here in the center is also put a hole in this little door that allows my spout to just basically come right through the front. So that way it comes right out of the front instead of originally here on the side. So I figure that's my quick and easy way to do it. So I guess let me go ahead. I'll go ahead and pop up a bigger hole in the back of this, and go ahead and, while I'm at it, pop a hole here in the front. Go ahead and get a little hole saw out and get that step done. And this whole build will be completely done. I have a refurbished unit. Alright guys, as you see, I took and I have, what I've done is basically mounted the new style pump. Let me get you in kind of close. You can see it right in there. Being that this pump, let's see, we were talking about 1, 2, about the second hole. So it was another hole lower than what I originally thought. So being that it's lower mounted pump now in this unit, and it's completely done right now, by converting this over to the Northern Tool pump, which As you can see there, this is Northern Industries. It's item 15997. Maximum flow 264 gallons an hour. What does it got? 25-inch flexible spout, 59-inch power cord with a 110-volt plug. Minimum head is 7 foot. They have different PSIs, different things that are listed online as far as you know, if you want any more information on this. But it's a $40 pump. As you see, it comes literally right there, what you see. This is actually made just to sit inside the tub of the cabinet. But for my use, why I wanted this, that front cover that's on the pump, it just slides right off. And if you'll just notice inside, there's nothing more than an impeller. So the reason why I mounted it back in this unit, not only to stabilize it and keep it in one spot, but I would like to clean or replace this pre-filter, so that way all the water-soluble solution is going to go right through this filter before it hits that impeller and goes up and back out. So what I figure is this unit's basically done. Let's go ahead and install this back. I'm going to go ahead and install this back on the main unit so I can get ready to call this video done. I'll clean that later off screen. I'll put that back in. Here's the moment of truth, getting this cabinet done. Gonna open the lid, set this whole thing back down in here, and as you notice, it's just got a cord now. You just plug it in, no switches, no nothing. We'll route that through. Set that down like so. I need to get the 2 screws, put that in there. Let me see, let me get y'all off this tripod real quick. Also, you kind of notice there's, I took the bracket out which supported the original one. Here's a little nub. All that's gone. Now all I'm doing is using this as a pre-filter for the cleaning itself. And it's well enough to stretch all the way to the other side. You know, since I got this going on, let me add the other accessories. Let's look at this as a whole finished unit. Completely done. Can have the spout sitting any which way. Cleaning parts, whatever. Leave it like that when I don't need it. Close it up. I'm done. At least now I can clean parts. This is ready to go. I can use 10 gallons versus 20, so it saves money. The good water-based soluble cleaner I found was about $70-something for a 5-gallon bucket. I'm gonna dilute it 1-to-1 so I get the maximum strength. So I'm looking at a total of $70 to make enough solution to fill this up to do my needs. The only thing I got left, put the screen back on the front. I have everything set up, fill her up, and I'm done. Well, alright guys, this is another Masses 32210 production. Give me a thumbs up. Let me put some comments down below if you think this is a cool idea on repowering one of these old Harbor Freight units. For a free unit, I only got really 40 bucks invested in this unit. I can't really complain. Besides the angle iron, I forgot what the cost of that. Thank you so much, guys. And like I said, please comment, rate, subscribe.